Hello and welcome. If you're a contractor in the UK construction industry, you know the Construction Industry Scheme, or CIS, can be a real headache. Well, that's exactly why we've partnered with the experts over at My Tax Accountant. They've helped us put together this really straightforward guide on how to pay your CIS tax online. Our goal today? To make this whole process crystal clear so you can handle it with confidence every single time. Right, let's get into it. So let's start with a big one. Did you know that if you're just one day late filing your CIS return, you get hit with an automatic £100 fine from HMRC? Yep, one single day. It doesn't matter if you owed a tenner or 10 grand in tax, that penalty is the same. It's probably one of the most common and honestly most avoidable mistakes in the whole system. And it really shows why getting this stuff right is so important. So our mission today is pretty simple. We're going to make sure that never happens to you. With the help of the specialists at My Tax Accountant, we're going to walk you through every step so you can manage your payments, avoid those nasty fines, and just get on with your job completely stress-free. Okay, here's our game plan. We've split this into 6 easy sections. We'll kick things off with the absolute essentials. Then we'll cover your monthly return, how to actually make the online payment, and then we'll look at the common mistakes and how to fix them. After that, we'll cover what happens when things go wrong, and finally, where to get expert help when you need it. Right then, let's dive straight into Section 1. This is all about the fundamentals, understanding your core responsibilities as a contractor. Trust me, everything else we talk about today builds on this, so getting this part clear is absolutely key. So, what on earth is CIS when you boil it down? Well, think of it as a special tax system just for the construction industry. As a contractor, your job is to deduct tax from your subcontractors' pay before you pay them. Then, you send that deducted money straight over to HMRC. It's basically an advance payment towards that subcontractor's final tax and national insurance bill for the year. So you've got 2 very clear roles here. If you're the contractor, well, the responsibility is on your shoulders. You've got to verify your subs with HMRC, deduct the right amount of tax, and then handle all the monthly paperwork and payments. If you're a subcontractor, on the other hand, you're the one having tax taken from your pay, and you'll see those deductions on your payment slips. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, and this is so important. Look at how much these deduction rates can change. This is exactly why you must verify every subcontractor with HMRC before you pay them a single penny. If they're properly registered for CIS, you deduct the standard 20%. But if they're not registered, that rate shoots up to a massive 30%. And then you've got some subs who've earned gross payment status, which means you deduct nothing, 0%. Get this bit wrong, and it creates a huge mess for everyone involved. Okay, with the basics under our belt, let's move on to the actual process. Section 2 is all about your monthly CIS return. This is the task you'll be doing over and over again. And as we saw with that £100 fine, timing is everything. Let's walk through the monthly cycle. We'll follow a contractor, let's call him Oliver, who runs a small building firm in London. Okay, so the tax month runs from the 6th of one month to the 5th of the next. Any payments Oliver makes to his subs during that time frame all go on one return. Once the 5th has passed, he adds up all the CIS tax he's deducted. Then, and here's the crucial deadline, he has to file his CIS return with HMRC by the 19th of that month. Not the end of the month, the 19th. And here's a pro tip that catches so many people out. What if Oliver has a quiet month? Maybe a project gets delayed and he doesn't pay any subcontractors at all. He can just skip it that month, right? Wrong. He still has to log into his HMRC account and submit what's called a nil return. It takes about 2 minutes, but it tells HMRC nothing to see here this month. If he forgets this simple step, he still gets that automatic $100 fine, even though no tax was due. Crazy, isn't it? All right, now for the main event, making the actual payment to HMRC. You filed the return, so you're done, right? Not quite. That's not all. Here's where most people go wrong, so stay with me. Section 3 covers how, where, and when to pay the tax you've collected. Okay, before you do anything else, you need this number. It's your 13-character accounts office reference. You'll find it on letters HMRC sent you when you first registered as an employer. This is not your tax reference, it's not your VAT number, it's a specific code just for your payroll account. If you use the wrong reference, your payment could get lost in the system, and HMRC will chase you for money you've already paid. It's absolutely crucial you get this right. Now, remember how we said the filing deadline was the 19th? Well, the payment deadline is different. For any electronic payment, like a bank transfer, the money has to be cleared in HMRC's account by the 22nd of the month, so you get a few extra days. But be careful. If the 22nd happens to be a weekend or a bank holiday, you have to make sure your payment clears on the last working day before that date. So how do you actually pay? Well, the most common way is just a simple bank transfer. Let's go back to Oliver. He just logs into his business bank account, sets up a new payment to HMRC using their details, and then, the most important bit, he puts his 13-character accounts office reference in the reference field. It's as simple and as critical as that.
And there are the bank details you'll need. You can pause here if you need to jot them down. Now, what's really interesting here is that these are the exact same details you'd use for your regular payee bill for any employees you have. Your CIS deductions are actually bundled together with payee and national insurance. You make one single payment for all of it, which is why that accounts office reference is so vital. It tells HMRC what that payment is for.
Of course, a bank transfer isn't your only option. You can go to the gov.uk website and pay with a company debit card or corporate credit card, but just a heads up, they don't accept personal credit cards. Or if you prefer a set-it-and-forget-it approach, you can set up a direct debit through your HMRC account. That way, they'll just take the payment automatically each month, and you never have to worry about missing the deadline. Okay, so we've covered the process. Now let's look at where it can go pear-shaped. In Section 4, we're going to flag the most common mistakes that trip contractors up so you can just sidestep them completely. So let's quickly recap the top 3 errors we see time and time again. Number 1, using the wrong payment reference. I know we've said it a few times, but it's that important. Always use your 13-character accounts office reference. Number 2, forgetting to file that nil return in a quiet month. And number 3, getting the deadlines mixed up. Just lock it in your memory. File by the 19th, pay by the 22nd. But what happens if you do make a mistake? Let's talk about the consequences in Section 5. And stay with me here. The next point might surprise you with just how quickly the costs can rack up for what seems like a tiny error. Just look at this breakdown for late failing penalties. It starts with that £100 for being 1 day late. After 2 months, another £200 is automatically tacked on. At 6 months, and again at 12 months, it's another £300 or 5% of the tax you owe, whichever is more. And if a return is over a year late, HMRC can issue a penalty of up to $3,000. You can see how a simple oversight can snowball into a really serious amount of money. Now, if you do get a penalty notice in the post, don't just panic and stick it in a drawer. You have a 30-day window to appeal it. You can do it online or by post, but you need what HMRC calls a reasonable excuse. We're talking something serious, like a sudden illness or a family bereavement. Unfortunately, just saying you forgot or that you were short on cash isn't going to cut it. And all of this brings us neatly to our final section. I mean, looking at those penalty figures, it's easy to feel a bit overwhelmed. And while this guide is here to help you manage CIS yourself, the good news is you don't have to do it all alone. Sometimes getting an expert on your side is the smartest thing you can do for your business. If you'd rather just hand the whole thing over to a professional and get rid of the stress completely, then you really should speak to the team at My Tax Accountant. They are absolute specialists in this stuff. They can handle your monthly returns, make sure your payments are spot on, and even deal with HMRC for you. It frees you up to do what you do best, run your business. All their contact details are right there on the screen. If you want to read about this in more detail, you can find the full guide on the My Tax Accountant blog. The address is on your screen now. And for more helpful guides just like this one, make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. And just a quick final note, the information in this guide is for general purposes only. You must consult the tax experts at My Tax Accountant before making any financial decisions. Thanks for watching.